Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and we got breaking news. Tom Tibodeau wins the NBA Coach of the Year award and beats out Monty Williams and Quinn Snyder, and he is the official Coach of the Year for this NBA 2020-2021 season. And I want to give you guys my initial thoughts and my reaction. This is pretty nuts. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I did not expect Thibodeau to win. I really thought Monty Williams was going to win that because I feel like the Knicks always get the short end of the stick, and we deserve that, but they don't give it to us. But wow, the media actually realized what Tom Tibodeau did to the Knicks this season. And yes, I know, it did not end in the way we wanted to. We lost in 5 games in the playoffs, and now it's the offseason for us. But what Tom Tibodeau did for the New York Knicks in his first season as the Knicks coach is absolutely remarkable. We have to realize where we were a year ago, where we were going into the season. That's where you realize how much of an impact this man had on the New York Knicks this season. His ability to instill a system on defense and even offense, and for it to be this good, this fast. You know how hard it is to get your players to buy into a system in your first year? It takes a long time to build a foundation. And if you guys go and watch my videos in the beginning of the season, my expectation for Tom Tibodeau was, I felt like this was my expectation for this season. I thought that it was going to be rough out of the gate. I feel like Tom Thibodeau was going to instill a system where and the young guys are going to be adjusting to it, and it's going to take a long time for them to really understand the system on defense and offense and everything he's bringing to the table. And then in the second half of the season is where we start to win some games and look like an actual good basketball team. Well, I was wrong. Right off the gate, we saw the impact. We saw the defense. The New York Knicks finished in first place in 3 separate defensive categories, the first time since the 90s Knicks, and those are the only 2 franchises to ever do it. First place in opponents' field goal percentage, first place in three-point percentage, and first place in opponents' points scored. That's ridiculous. That's all coaches. That's without the system in place, without the coaching, without the attention to detail, without the preaching of togetherness, without all of that, everything that the New York Knicks accomplished this season would not have been possible. I don't think we realize how much coaching matters in this league because, I don't want to bring up the Atlanta Hawks, but we saw what happened when they fired their head coach and they brought in, their assistant McMillan. He leads them all the way into the playoffs, and now they're in the second round. What the New York Knicks did by bringing in Tom Tibodeau, an established guy who actually won Coach of the Year, so this is his second award, so kudos to Coach. They brought him in. It's an established guy who's been to the playoffs for 2 different organizations, now 3, and it's somebody that had to adapt, and that's the biggest reason what's so impressive to me about Tom Tibodeau. He is an old school 90s style type of head coach where he's going to play you the 2 top guys that led the NBA minutes in the entire league, Julius Randle number 1, RJ Barrett number 2. That's what he's known for. He's known that if you're the best player, you're going to be on the court. He doesn't care about injuries. They want you to be in the best shape possible because when he's all about rhythm, he wants his players to be on the court the most times because that's when they're in rhythm, that's when they're going to be playing the best, and that's what his system is really all about. And we're going towards an era where, the people are sitting, the stars are not going to play back-to-backs, they want to rest their guys. That's not Tom Tibodeau. That doesn't fly with him. And a lot of people didn't think that would really, evolve into his game. And another thing about Tom Tibodeau is today's NBA is all about three-point shooting. It's all about high-scoring offenses. So how is a defensive-minded coach going to work in today's NBA? Well, he evolved. He adapted his game to still be defensive-minded. But hey, the New York Knicks were a top 5 team in shooting from downtown this season. Obviously, that it's because of the players and everybody that shot the ball well. But he's implementing a system that's getting the guys open. He's getting guys catch-and-shoot opportunities. He's instilling confidence in his players. How many times do we see Emmanuel quickly shoot the ball from 30 feet beyond the arc? You think he doesn't have the green light? Tom Thibodeau's letting him know you can do that. Do you think Thibodeau would allow that like a decade ago in the Chicago Bulls? I don't think so because the game wasn't like that back then. What I'm trying to say is what Tom Tibodeau did for the Knicks by adapting his game, adjusting to today's era of basketball, and instilling a foundation, an identity, a culture here in New York in only 1 season deserves the award alone. I didn't want to get my hopes up for him winning this, but I'm so happy he actually did because this is a really big moment for the New York Knicks. We're coming off a season where we had expectations, where we can hopefully prove people wrong, right? The play-in tournament that was announced, seeds 9 and 10 could potentially make the playoffs. That's where my mind was like, oh, maybe we can get in that play-in tournament, make some noise. But we go to the 4th seed, Julius Randle. This man, going into this season, 85-90% of Knicks fans did not think Julius Randle was the guy for the future, including myself. I would admit it. And Julius Randle's game completely changed in one season. He wins Most Improved Player of the Year. I know he did not play well in the playoffs, but I'm going to get into Randle in future videos and my thoughts in detail about that. But for Julius Randle to come back and win Most Improved Player of the Year, that's because of his dedication, his grind, and his work ethic that Julius Randle did. It's also kudos to Tom Tibodeau for putting him in the right situations to succeed. And now we get a head coach in Tom Tibodeau to win Coach of the Year. So we got 2 guys winning awards, and we got a runner-up. Derrick Rose finished 3rd place in 6th Man of the Year. Most Improved Player of the Award goes to Julius Randle. Coach of the Year award goes to Coach Thibs. Like, this is an amazing time for the Knicks. I understand we did not finish the season off like we wanted to, but we have to realize this is the beginning of something special. We needed to have a year like this before we can get to where we want. And where do you want to be, guys? In the championship, winning the championship. Yes, that's the end result. That's why we play basketball. Well, not we. That's why the New York Knicks and all these teams play basketball, because the end goal is to win a championship. It's not to be, competitive. It's not to go into the playoffs. The end result is to win the championship. But before you can be a championship contending team, you need to make the proper steps and adjustments and lay down a foundation before that's possible. And this was that exact year because of Coach Thibodeau. I really did not expect it to happen this quickly. This season, I felt like it was going to be an up and down year, and we're going to see who's really part of the future, who's not part of the future. And then year 2 with Coach Thibs was the year where we make the playoffs and potentially be a high seed in the East. That happened this year. So for the Knicks to bring in a guy that brought in a really awesome coaching staff under him, and Kenny Payne, Johnny Bryant, Mike Woodson, who left us, and all these guys, it shows you that he has the ability to be a top-tier coach in the NBA. He's experienced, and kudos to you, head coach Tom Tibodeau, because you deserve this award. I really had my doubts that you're going to win it because, like I said in the beginning of the video, usually the Knicks, whether it's coaches or players, they usually don't win these awards because the media just doesn't like the Knicks, but he got the credit he deserves. Monty Williams, Quinn Snyder, they both deserve the award, but I really don't think you can have an argument against Tom Tibodeau winning this, because how many articles, how many people had the Knicks winning 21 games this year, and we go out there and win 41. We go on a 9-game winning streak. We defeat the odds. And guys, the team is not that talented. I don't want to, diminish the guys. I love the Knicks squad that we had this year, and I'm not saying we're not talented, but compared to the other playoff teams, on paper, we are not that talented. What we are is a bunch of guys that love playing together, that love playing for their coach, and the system in place where they're playing good team basketball, playing with heart, grit, attitude, New York City style. And that's what is a coach. That's what a coach is all about. When you can win with less talent, when you can outwork your opponents. And that's just kudos to Coach Thibodeau. And hey, let me just say something before I end the video. We're going to be way more talented next year. Yes, we are. So stay tuned for more content here in Knicks Media, breaking down so much stuff regarding the offseason. Who are we getting in free agency? What are we going to do with the draft? What are we going to do with the trade market? All that great stuff. Leave a comment down below your thoughts of Tom Tibodeau winning the award. This is an awesome time for the Knicks. Awesome time for him to get 2 players to win offseason awards, such as Julius Randle and Tom Tibodeau. It's awesome. Absolutely spectacular. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love each and every one of you guys. The support on Knicks Media has been awesome. And stay tuned for more content. Let's go, Knicks. Peace.